My dear friends, have you ever felt shattered, like your heart has been broken into pieces no one can mend? Have you ever wanted to run, to distract yourself, to fill the emptiness with people, noise, or temporary comforts? What if I told you that rushing into the world before you heal is not courage, it is repeating your pain in a new disguise? True healing does not come from company. It comes from solitude, reflection, and the courage to sit with yourself. Asterisk, life has a way of teaching us hard lessons through betrayal, loss, disappointment, or heartbreak. And when these storms hit, the natural instinct is to reach out, to seek comfort, to escape the emptiness. But real strength, my friends, is not in running away from your pain. It is in learning to stay alone until you heal. When you stay alone, you give yourself the chance to breathe, to feel, to understand the whispers of your own heart. You begin to separate the temporary from the timeless, the wounds that need care from the growth that is waiting for you. Solitude is not loneliness, it is therapy. It is how your soul rebuilds its peace, your heart learns its worth, and your mind regains clarity. So today, let us explore why staying alone before rushing to love or trust again is not selfish, it is sacred. Because only when you are whole can you truly love, truly trust, and truly live. Asterisk life, my friend, is a journey where we are often searching outside for what can only be built within. There is a unique kind of power that arises when you learn to be your own home. You see, most of us wander through life looking for someone to anchor us, someone to soothe our fears, someone to fill the gaps inside us. But when you learn to rebuild yourself from a place of wholeness, no storm, no betrayal, no heartbreak, no disappointment can ever break you in the same way again. In today's world, silence is becoming rare. Our mornings begin with notifications, our nights end with noise, and in between, we drown in endless conversations that rarely touch the soul. But silence, real silence, the kind that makes you uncomfortable at first, is where true healing begins. It is where words fail but the soul speaks. When you allow yourself to be alone, something magical happens. The outer noise fades, and the inner voice, long ignored, begins to whisper again. At first, this whisper may feel like discomfort. You may feel restless or ache for company, for distraction, for conversation. But if you resist the urge to escape, you will hear the gentle language of your heart. I am tired. I am hurt. I just want peace. And that, my friend, is when real healing begins. Not by covering the pain, but by listening to it, by understanding it, by letting it teach you. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is connection. It is the bridge between your wounds and your wisdom. Think of a lake. When it is stormy, you cannot see your reflection. But when it is still, the water becomes a perfect mirror. The same is true of your mind. When your life is filled with noise, drama, and distraction, you lose sight of who you are. But when you allow yourself periods of quiet, your thoughts settle, and suddenly you can see yourself again. Silence is not the absence of communication, it is its highest form. It is in silence that you understand your emotions, not react to them. You begin to discern which relationships drain you and which nourish you. You learn to separate the temporary from the timeless. But silence is rarely comfortable at first. It often begins with confrontation, not with others, but with yourself. When you stop talking, you begin hearing the truth you've been avoiding, the mistakes you've been denying, the pain you've been postponing. And while it is uncomfortable, it is necessary. Because until you listen, pain continues to scream through your choices, your behavior, your relationships. So when you sit alone, do not try to fill the space. Let silence work its magic. Let it become your teacher, your therapist, your mirror. Sit long enough and you will feel a shift. Your anger softens, your fears shrink, your mind slows down. You will begin noticing the smallest details, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the sound of your own breath, the peace that has always been waiting inside you. Silence is not running away from life. Silence is returning to yourself. There is a moment in life when your inner chaos meets your inner calm. And once you taste that calm, you realize that sometimes you do not need answers from the world. You need quiet to hear the answers already within you. When your heart has bled through disappointment, betrayal, or loss, the temptation to fill the emptiness is strong. You crave comfort, warmth, distraction. You want someone to make the pain disappear. But here is the truth, my friend. If you invite others into your life before you heal, you are not building love. You are repeating old patterns. You are reading the same painful chapter, just in different handwriting. Many of us believe another person can save us, that their presence can heal our loneliness. But until you heal, your pain becomes the lens through which you see everyone. You begin comparing, expecting, seeking reassurance rather than connection. You punish others for wounds they never caused. That, my friend, is not love, it is emotional recycling. When you bring new people into your old pain, you unconsciously hand them burdens they did not create. You project your past onto your present. You start seeing betrayal in kindness, rejection in silence, abandonment in space. And soon, relationships that should bring healing instead reopen every unhealed wound. True healing means separating what happened to you from who you are. Until you do, you will confuse pain with passion, chaos with chemistry, attachment with love. You cannot expect someone new to clean up the mess of your past. That, my friend, is your sacred work, your responsibility. Imagine holding broken glass in your hands. If someone offers you a flower, you may hurt yourself and them, not because the flower is dangerous, but because your hands are not ready to receive it. Staying alone until you heal is about putting down the shards. It is about saying, I will not hurt myself or others with the remnants of my past. When you choose solitude, your heart breathes again. You learn to be okay with your own company. You discover peace that is not dependent on anyone else. And once you find that peace within, love transforms. Real love cannot exist in the shadow of old pain. It requires clarity, readiness, and two whole people choosing each other, not two broken souls clinging to survive. So if you are still healing, do not rush to replace. Do not rush to move on. Sit with yourself. Learn the lessons your pain has come to teach. Heal fully, and you will stop attracting people who match your wounds. You will start attracting people who match your worth. Stay alone until your heart no longer trembles at the memory of what hurt you. Stay alone until peace feels normal. That, my friend, is when you are ready to love not from emptiness, but from wholeness. My friend, just as our physical body has an immune system that protects us from disease, our emotional self has one too. It is called self-awareness. But when we are constantly surrounded by people, noise and distractions, we weaken this system. We start reacting instead of reflecting. We absorb other people's moods, fears, and negativity until we can no longer distinguish what belongs to us and what belongs to them. Solitude is the sacred space where your emotional immune system recovers. It is like taking your mind to a quiet garden where it can breathe again. In solitude, without the need to explain yourself, your emotions begin to balance. You notice why you feel what you feel. Patterns behind old pain emerge. Slowly, your emotional system resets. Think about your phone. When too many apps are running, it lags, drains the battery, and overheats. What do? You close them, let it rest, let it charge. Your mind works the same way. Every argument, every stress, every unspoken feeling is an open tab draining your emotional energy. Solitude is the moment you press reset. But solitude does not mean isolation. It is not cutting off the world forever. It is connecting deeply with yourself before connecting again with others. It is learning to be okay without validation, without someone constantly checking on you, without the urge to escape your own company. Because if you cannot sit with your thoughts, it means there is something inside that is begging to be heard. When you allow yourself that quiet, something begins to shift, and strength grows that no chaos can shake. You stop being triggered so easily. You begin to respond, not react. You learn to protect your peace, not by avoiding people, but by mastering your emotions. That is emotional immunity. When life throws storms, you remain steady because you have learned to calm your inner ocean. Solitude teaches self-sufficiency. It does not mean you stop needing love. It means you stop depending on love to survive. You can give and receive it freely without fear or desperation. When you spend time alone, your mind becomes clear. You no longer crave chaos. You stop chasing temporary happiness. You begin to find joy in simple things. The sound of rain, a deep breath, sunlight on your skin. Happiness, you realize, does not come from being surrounded by people, it comes from being surrounded by peace. Solitude is not loneliness, it is therapy. It rebuilds your emotional immunity. It teaches your heart to protect its peace. And when you return to the world, you do not come back empty, you come back whole. Healing demands honesty, my friend. And honesty can be painful. Most of us love the idea of healing, the concept of moving on, feeling light, and being peaceful again. But when the process begins, when life asks us to look deep into our pain, to admit our own choices, many stop. Because honesty hurts before it heals. True healing is not pretending everything is fine. It begins when you admit, I am not okay. When you remove the mask you wear for the world and face the mirror that does not lie. Healing is not just letting go of what others did to you, it is being brutally honest about what you did to yourself. The times you ignored red flags, said yes when your heart screamed no, stayed silent to keep peace even when it cost you, you must see these moments clearly. That is not self-criticism, that is self-awareness. And without awareness, there is no growth, only repetition. Many people heal only on the surface. They clean the wound but do not remove the infection. They say, I have moved on, but deep inside, they are still bleeding. You cannot fool your soul. Smiles, fake strength, social appearances, they cannot cover the quiet suffering inside. Honesty also means allowing yourself to feel what you actually feel. You do not have to be graceful all the time. You do not have to forgive immediately. You do not have to wake up feeling okay every day. Healing is sometimes messy. Sometimes it is crying over what you thought you had forgotten. Sometimes it is breaking down before you can break through. Pretending you are fine only delays healing. Every suppressed emotion becomes trapped energy. Every lie you tell yourself, I'm over it, I'm fine, is another brick in the wall between you and your peace. The only way out is through honesty. Name your pain. Speak your truth. Say, yes, I am hurt. Yes, I miss them. Yes, I am angry. It is uncomfortable but freeing. Just like cleaning a wound, if you do not disinfect it, it festers. Emotionally, the same is true. When you refuse to face what is inside, it leaks into new relationships, new friendships, new opportunities. Honesty cleanses the soul. And remember, being honest does not mean harsh. It means being real. It means saying, I am learning, I am healing, I made mistakes, but I am growing. It is accepting yourself fully and still showing up for your own healing. That honesty builds strength that no lie can replace. Healing also demands the courage to walk away. And this is one of the hardest lessons, learning to let go without explanation. We crave understanding. We want someone to say, I see you, I understand your pain, you didn't deserve that, but here is the reality. Not everyone will understand your silence, your distance, or your pain. And that is okay, because you are not healing for them, you are healing for yourself. When you stop needing to be understood, you stop explaining your choices, your boundaries, your silence. You begin to realize that understanding is a luxury, not a requirement. Not everyone has the capacity to see your depth or grasp your boundaries. Everyone perceives life through their own wounds. Some people can meet you only as deeply as they have met themselves. Instead of trying to make them understand, bless them and release them, let them have their version of the story. You do not need to correct every misconception. Truth does not require explanation, it requires peace. Peace grows when you stop chasing validation and start nurturing your inner calm. Think of a tree. It does not explain why it sheds its leaves. It does not justify why it stands still as the seasons change. It simply trusts that growth is happening within, even when no one sees it. You too do not need to announce your healing. You do not need to prove your growth. The people meant for you will notice the calm in your eyes, the softness in your energy. They will see your peace and understand it without words. Yes, it hurts when others misunderstand your silence, when they assume your withdrawal means you do not care. But silence does not mean indifference, it means introspection. Distance does not mean disinterest, it means discernment. Sometimes stepping back is not because you stopped loving, but because you started respecting yourself. Healing asks for solitude, but also for surrender. Surrendering the need to be seen, to be validated, to be understood. You stop waiting for closure from others because you learn to give it to yourself. You stop expecting people to understand what they have never lived. Being misunderstood does not take away your truth. It only shows that your truth was never meant for everyone to grasp. So if you are on this journey of healing, remember this. Not everyone will understand your silence. Not everyone will understand why you choose peace over chaos, calm over noise, solitude over social circles. And that is okay. You are not healing for them. You are healing for yourself. Let go of the need to be understood. You are not here to be explained. You are here to become whole. And sometimes wholeness looks like walking away quietly, smiling softly, and letting people misunderstand while you continue your journey. Healing is sacred, personal, and quiet. It is a return to yourself. It is a reclamation of your peace, your love, and your life. Do not rush it. Do not apologize for it. Your growth, your calm, your joy, they are worth every moment of solitude, every tear, every moment of honest self-reflection. Remember, you do not owe anyone an explanation for your peace. You do not owe anyone justification for your boundaries. You do not owe anyone validation for your journey. Be still, be honest, be kind to yourself. Walk away quietly if you must. And in that quiet, in that solitude, you will find something remarkable, the unshakable truth of who you are. Your peace is your responsibility. Your growth is your journey. Your life is your home. And when you finally build it from the inside out, no storm, no betrayal, no misunderstanding can ever shake it again.